Hey everyone, thanks for joining me. As you can see, I'm outside today. It's actually quite dark above us, and it may start raining while I'm talking, but that's okay. We're gonna let it do it. It's just good to be filming again, and oh, lightning from over that way. So there you go. Before we go further, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. Post any questions or comments that you may want me to address in an upcoming video, and I will do my best to get to them. I had back surgery, and while I was in the hospital, of all places, there was this really nice nurse that when she found out who I was and what I did, I can't remember if she's the one that recognized the Soul Chaser and Gene Archer titles or if it was a different nurse. That's what happens when you talk to me when I'm on painkillers. I'm a little bit, well, I'm yammery for one thing, and two, there's every possibility I won't remember your name if we meet and I'm in that condition. But anyway, this nurse is a, pardon me, aspiring writer. We're going to go with her and she. And as a result, when she found out that I write Soul Chaser, Gene Archer, and Star Riders, whew, glad we got a cover over us. She was interested in how I did what I do and things of that nature, and she hit me with some of the same topics of concern that I hear from people at my table at events, or if I'm doing a panel. How do I get started? What if what I'm reading doesn't sound right? And I've got all these ideas, I don't know where to start, and I can't get them. And so she gets what all of us suffer from at times, which is, I've got so many ideas I can't write them all down. I'm just not going to write anything. And so I've heard that. I've been through that, where you get option paralysis almost. So. But first of all, of course, the first thing I tell her is that quote from Throw Mama from the Train, I believe. Anyway, a writer writes. So I told her, basically the principle which I live by, which is I try to write every day. Lately is not a good example, because I, unlike a lot of people, don't write well when I'm on painkillers. I talk a lot, and I watch a lot of TV. It's kind of like getting the munchies. But I have this phrase that I like to use, and I tell people the first thing I recommend is just start typing. Just maybe write a letter. Maybe just write what, something that happened to you that day. Something that gets you in the process of physically going through the action of writing. Or writing, if you're like me, and you can do a lot of stuff by hand. And make that a discipline. This is my half hour every evening of, just anything and everything goes on the page that I'm thinking of during that half hour. It doesn't have to necessarily be what you're writing about or be what your book is about. For me, the critical thing is just write. Just write. After a while, when I was doing this, after my divorce, I was in a real dark place, and I was having a hard time writing as well. When I started getting back into it, I found that if I just grabbed a notebook and started jotting things down. I look at my entertainment center, jot down the different videos, maybe my opinions, things of that nature. Got me back into the discipline of writing. After a while, after you're accustomed to that actual function of writing, then one of the difficult things that I had was moving from just brain, just brain rush from everything, whatever I was thinking, to moving into my story. And I tell them, I said, once you're to a point where you're okay jotting your story ideas down, and you keep that discipline up, 1 page can become 2. All of a sudden, 2 pages turns into 20. Not all in the same day necessarily, but over time you end up with, a written project if you stick with it, in most cases. And as a result, I don't know how you write a book that long, all those fears become things you've overcome. So come up with a discipline for writing. Make it a routine. If you have a companion that you live with, make sure they know that for that hour or that half hour, that's your writing time. They can bug you any other time, but that's your writing time. And as it becomes more and more of a behavior pattern, you can then hopefully transition into writing just a brain dump of information onto a page into actual focused plot lining, outlining thing, whatever it is you're working on. That's what works for me. The other thing, that's some nearby lightning. The other thing that I was mentioning to her is, and I've been doing this since I was junior high, I think, is dictate. And I may have mentioned this on a previous video, or if I've spoken with you in a previous event or something along those lines. But lately I have been dictating quite a bit because it's been difficult to sit at a desk or stand at a desk or be upright. And even having a laptop on my lap was painful. So what I had done is I grabbed a phone app. I have an Android phone. I went out to the Play Store, tried a couple dictation apps, just like you would had it been 30 years ago when you had a little micro cassette recorder or a handheld cassette recorder for school or play or work or whatever. And I would just sit down for half an hour on the porch swing behind me, can't turn, and I would just tell the story of that scene, or tell the story of that chapter, or pick something that was going to be that I had been working on and had all the details worked out in my head. Maybe keep my outline nearby, maybe not even have the computer or anything, just me and the dictation. Motorcycle. Anyway, and I would just tell the story. And it's incomplete, and it has all sorts of problems, and every now and then I'll do what I do in videos, and I stop, go back a paragraph, cut that paragraph, start over. And then I pick up from where I needed to cut it. And, because it doesn't matter. As long as you're recording. As long as you don't do it happen the first couple times I tried it, and you record and don't realize you've turned the recorder off, or the recorder that you're using, like the first one I tried, stops recording when your phone goes to sleep. So try them out. There are several. I know there are a handful of them for the iPhone. I know that there are a handful of them for the Android. Or if you're sitting at your computer and you have like a laptop or something that has a microphone on it built in, talk to the screen. If you've got something that helps you stay focused and you have your machine there and you just can lose yourself in whatever that is and tell the story, get it recorded down. Just get it in some format. Once you've done that, then of course it requires either the discipline or the money to transcribe that dictation. And when I was working on the last third of Gene Archer Interlude 2, I had 24 5 or 6 minute audio files that I had to transcribe, and a couple of long ones, because once I finally got in the zone, I would just go and go and go. And that's how I got the rough draft of Interlude 2 finally finished, so that I could then edit it, because I can't edit anything that's not written down. That's going to be a discipline either you need to cultivate on your own, like I've had to do, or if you have the resources, there are dictation companies out there I have not successfully found, and this is probably due to lack of looking really hard, I have not had any luck finding a transcription program that will analyze a digital text file and transcribe it. That's just, I've not found one like that. I have experimented with voice dictation software directly to WordPerfect or you know, whatever. I use WordPerfect. I also use Google Docs. There are, like, back when I started doing voice dictation experimentation was when Dragon Naturally Speaking was still out, and yes, that does date me. You know, it's the hair, it's there. That was years ago. Got it for Christmas from my ex-mother-in-law one year, and I didn't have the patience to train it, and that was a problem. It required a lot of hours of training before you could really get it to work. So I know that there are dictation programs out there that are transcription programs, and I'm going to do some practical hands-on and see if I can make one of them work reliably for me. Once I do that, I will of course talk about it here on Ask the Author. But I do know that one of my creative consultants and editors, a wonderful friend of mine named Donna, who's married to a wonderful friend of mine named Ryan, their son uses voice dictation for his school class projects. So there's plenty of them out there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find out which one he uses, add it to my list. I found 3 or 4 that I can try, and as I find and review them and that kind of thing, I'll post them and Ask the Author in an upcoming episode. You can make a decision based on the information that you get, but that might be a launching point for you, is how it works out for me. Anyway, that's coming up in a future episode. I think it's about time for me to head inside. I hope you enjoyed the video. You make it even better for you and me if you post questions and comments and share the video out. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, because that allows me to see more of you and talk more with you, because it's kind of like a dialogue. You're asking me a question and I'm returning with the video with an answer. Bearing in mind, no guarantees, it's all opinion, or what has worked for me in the past. Like the video, share it, subscribe. Love you guys, keep writing. We're gonna get through whatever the remainder of this is. As I know more about any events that I'm going to be at, I will post them here. I'm not currently slated because I'm still in recovery from my surgery, but that seems to be going well. So if not this season, the next season I will be definitely back out on the convention circuit. Got books to sell, got stories to write. Take care. You're awesome. Love you all. Ciao.